Back at Berje's tower, the moment Granada is dealt with, Berje shifts gears. Sitting on the throne, Berje declares it straight. This isn't about politics or heroes anymore. He's aiming to get stronger, and he's already thinking a few steps ahead. The system lays it out. Demonic energy can either power up the tower or be absorbed directly by Berje. Since he already sold most of his points, there's only one real option left for him to grow stronger. Berje explains the spirit blossom. It's not just a rare plant. It's basically a condensed crystal of mana. It feeds on ambient energy over time, and once consumed, it gives a massive boost in raw strength. The Urgist Mountains are the perfect place for something like this to exist. Constant mana storms, high-level monsters, and almost zero human interference. Nature there's been left alone for years, growing wild and dangerous. Because of that, the spirit blossoms in Urgist have been absorbing pure, natural mana non-stop, refining it over time. For Berje, who already spent all his demonic energy, this is the only realistic way left to power up fast. Berje realizes the spirit blossoms have absorbed refined mana for centuries, turning them into a real treasure worth risking everything for. He knows it's not true demonic energy, but for a demon, it's still better than having nothing. So he decides to go after the blossoms and tells Gordon his plan. Gordon warns him it's reckless to go unprepared, because the moment monsters sense an opening, they'll attack without hesitation. Berje calmly thinks that dealing with monsters isn't the problem. The real issue is finding spirit blossoms, unless he has a high-level mana detector. A sudden knock interrupts the moment, and both Berje and Gordon pause, confused about who would show up now. The door cracks open, and the princess peeks out awkwardly, asking if they're busy, completely breaking the tension. Berje is mid-thought with Gordon when the knock hits. He pauses, turns, and realizes who it is the moment the door opens. Ernan bursts in full of energy, dragging her little spirits along, clearly hyped. She's already acting like this place is hers, and Berje just lets it happen. She rambles excitedly about being bored and immediately reminds him of his promise. The fourth floor is hers to play with, and she's making sure he doesn't forget it. Berje agrees as long as she can find the spirit blossoms. But in his head, he's already realizing how insane it is that she's freely walking around a Demon King's tower and even redecorated the fourth floor to her own taste. He thinks the situation itself is ridiculous. A human girl casually moving inside a Demon King's tower, like it's her home, is not normal at all. Meanwhile, she quietly realizes she probably shouldn't have been able to leave the tower in the first place, and feels relieved that she came to check before something went wrong. She suddenly feels something off and freezes for a second, not sure what's happening. Berje grabs her and tells her to hold on tight, moving before she can even react. A massive burst of power erupts, and they shoot off in an instant, leaving everything behind in a flash. She slowly opens her eyes, still wrapped in warmth, and realizes this place feels completely different from the day she was kidnapped. Her eyes widen as it hits her. She never noticed before because it was dark back then, but now she can finally see everything clearly. She looks out at the endless landscape and silently realizes just how massive this world really is. Ernan reflects on her past, how every day used to blur together with non-stop magic training, studying, and repeating, to the point she thought she would just live and die like that. She looks at Berje and casually says that the only person who has ever flown over the Urgist Mountains is probably her now, brushing it off like it's no big deal. She grabs him without warning, tells him to call her Ernan, and says they're going to be seeing each other for a long time from now on, leaving him completely stunned. Berje lightly threatens Ernan, reminding her who's in charge, then calmly tells her to use her spirits and start searching for the spirit blossoms. She immediately apologizes and accepts. Ernan stays beside him, gathers her spirits, and prepares to move, clearly taking his orders seriously without talking back. Berje watches her get ready and thinks they probably won't find the blossoms quickly, but he's confident Ernan will still be faster than Gordon or anyone else. Berje senses it first, stops mid-air with Ernan still beside him, and realizes they've finally found a spirit blossom. The spirit blossom reveals itself, overflowing with dense, refined mana, clearly far purer than anything found near human territory. Before they can react, multiple monsters rush in at once, making it obvious they're not the first ones to reach this place. Berje spreads his wings and calmly orders the monsters to obey the Demon King, warning them not to touch the spirit blossom and to leave if they still value their lives. The monsters refuse outright, mocking him, calling him unworthy, and declaring they would rather die than follow a Demon King's orders. Berje laughs to himself, realizing Gordon was right all along. This was never going to end peacefully. Berje realizes he made a mistake expecting monsters to think. Purple demonic energy flares up as he admits this won't be a negotiation. He calmly declares that instead of arguing, he'll just burn everything here to ashes, his killing intent fully released. The beasts roar back in fury, gripping their weapons and charging as they shout to protect what's theirs and kill anyone who stands in their way. Berje gathers demonic power between his hands, realizing he doesn't need beasts to think. Raw force is enough, and he decides to erase them all at once. The demonic energy detonates upward, a massive purple blast swallowing the battlefield as the monsters are caught mid-charge. The beasts are torn apart in an instant, their bodies shredded and burned away, leaving nothing but echoes of their screams in the storm of demonic power. The monsters rush in together, shouting to take out the weakest first, and Ernarn freezes for a split second as the pressure closes in. Berje calmly forms a dense sphere of purple energy in his hand, his expression unchanged as demonic power condenses. He releases it in an instant, the explosion wiping through the charging monsters and leaving Ernarn standing silently at the center of the aftermath. Ernarn realizes the feral orcs are charging together, using numbers and coordination, but even then they still cannot get close to her or Berje. Berje calmly raises his hands, demonic energy crossing and compressing as he decides to stop holding back and show what a Demon King truly wields. The demonic power erupts across the battlefield, tearing through the orcs in an instant, and Ernarn understands for the first time the overwhelming gap that comes with the Demon King's power. The snowfall settles as Ernarn and the girl reach the spirit blossom. She kneels and immediately feels how pure and dense the mana is, realizing this is a high-grade water and ice attribute blossom. Ernarn watches closely and warns her not to cover or damage it. He stays calm and alert, making sure the blossom remains untouched while she observes it. She nods and agrees, carefully following his instructions, understanding that even a small mistake could ruin the spirit blossom's refined mana. Berje tells Ernarn that if she finds more spirit blossoms, she can take one, noting that humans can only cheer on when they see something this rare. As they move deeper into the mountains, Berje thinks that despite searching further, there has never been a confirmed second patch of spirit blossoms. Back at Berje's tower, Berje looks at the spirit blossom in his hand and thinks that Ernarn Hildurin, the crown princess of Hildurin, might not have been a mistake after all. He recalls how he first underestimated her, but now realizes she's far more useful than he initially thought. As Ernarn rests peacefully, surrounded by mana and spirits, Berje silently decides to make use of her talents going forward. Berje receives Granada's report and realizes the hero party, led by Hillen Cargill, has already left the capital of Hildurin. He understands they are not heading toward Urgist, but following the classic hero route, forming a party and growing stronger through quests. Berje concludes that by the time they finish their journey, the heroes will be far stronger than they are now, exactly as expected. Berje presents the prepared plans for the hero's journey, asking Gordon to review them carefully as the strategy unfolds. As Berje scans the plans, he calmly dismisses all of them without hesitation, catching Gordon off guard. Berje declares that this time there will be no monsters or interruptions sent after the hero, leaving Gordon stunned by the decision. Berje explains that half-baked interference only makes heroes stronger, So instead, he orders Gordon to tell Granada to join the hero's journey with the mercenaries and slowly build their trust. Gordon hesitates, noting that Berje isn't following standard Demon King tactics and asking if the current tower alone can really stop the heroes. Berje smirks and reassures him, saying he'll reinforce the tower properly this time by adding a dwarf. Gordon freaks out, shouting that bringing a dwarf into the tower with humans and a high elf will turn them into a joke if anyone finds out. Berje gets irritated, demonic energy crackling around his hands as he shuts Gordon down. Berje explains calmly that he does not mean stopping the heroes with just a dwarf, but using dwarven magical tools, telling Gordon to think carefully about it. Berje thinks that as heroes grow used to the Demon King standards, they will naturally open the tower floor by floor while fighting monsters, following the usual path. He then flips the idea, wondering what would happen if dozens of cannons welcomed them on the first floor instead, completely breaking their expectations. Gordon realizes the heroes would never be prepared for something like that, but also understands this goes far beyond normal demon standards. Gordon notices the Demon King's throne sitting empty. His mind goes blank for a second as a bad feeling creeps in. Before he can react, space twists. Gordon gets dragged away mid-panic, screaming that this is another abduction. The scene shifts to Walner, the dwarven underground city. Gordon arrives in shock, realizing he's been taken straight into dwarf territory. A dwarf hammers molten metal with explosive force. Sparks fly everywhere. This isn't an ordinary craftsman. The narration reveals him as Lozier Friedrich, the best dwarven blacksmith, a master whose skills can change the balance of power. Fate moves fast. Lozier Friedrich is now scheduled to be kidnapped by a rogue Demon King. Berje approached the heavy stone door, while another stands silently off to the side. Buildings cling precariously to jagged cliffs, stacked high like a fortress carved from stone. Berje stands alone at the foot of the stairs, eyeing the towering crystal ahead. A wooden signboard swings gently, announcing the Midnight Inn above the entrance. Dealer places coins on the table while Berje asks, "Where's the most outstanding blacksmith in this city?" Berje smiles and gestures confidently while Lozier listens, trading sharp words about money and dwarves. Lozier points toward the massive hole tearing through the city, urging to head inside. Berje explains the lift's two-step security checks ID before granting access to floors. A small white object drops with a sharp tap near the black fence. Berje launches upward, sword ready to strike. Berje stands before a locked door, the corridor silent except for the urgent command. Head to the lowest floor and the deepest room. Berje stands tense behind the door, eyes sharp and ready. There, you'll find the city's best blacksmith, the message reads. Berje raises his fist charged with energy, confronting the dealer head-on. Lozier strikes the metal with his hammer, sparks and electricity flying from the impact. Berje glances to the side as the light from his work flickers like dancing mana. Berje reaches forward with a steady hand, eyes locked on Lozier's surprised face. A massive hammer slams into the ground, sending sparks flying from the impact. Berje raises his arm amid the chaos, turning back on the burning staircase as explosions rage around them. Berje spots a flicker of demonic energy nearby and looks sharply to the side. Lozier swings his hammer through the flames with surprising force. Dealer raises his sword with a confident smile as Berje blocks the strike amid the fiery clash. A man with brown hair holds a flaming sword, declaring, "Our Berje." Lozier shouts defiantly, declaring himself the Lozier blacksmith guarding the dwarves' land. Berje sneers, "For all that talk, you're pretty weak. Also, I'm not a demon." Lozier coughs and struggles to stand as the Demon King reveals himself behind. A massive hammer slams into the ground with earth-shaking force. Soldiers burst in, demanding answers as Lozier stands caught off guard. Two armored someone stand guard, watching the furnace as smoke billows out while Lozier looks on caught off guard. Guards shout warnings as they realize someone's been taken and order to block all exits. Berje holds an injured man while scanning the facility from above, urging a thorough search. Berje threatens silence with a sword while Lozier lies injured, shocked by the mention of a demon king and a someone. Berje demands a secret underground passage from the dwarven blacksmiths, pressing for a guide. Lozier lies still, eyes wide with shock, whispering, "This demon king." Lozier breaks down in tears, confessing his fear of fighting demon kings after living quietly all this time. Someone questions their fate, overwhelmed by their weakness. Berje threatens to kidnap the someone when his target refuses to talk. Lozier points accusingly at Princess Louise, shouting, "The selfish someone sold the princess to beg for his life." Lozier shouts in desperation, unable to accept the betrayal he's witnessing. A door slams shut as screams echo from inside, trapping desperate cries of fear and weakness. Berje pins the man to the ground, demanding, "Now, are you going to sell the someone out or come with me on your own feet?" Berje promises safety in exchange for help, swearing on the Demon King's standards as Lozier reacts with surprise. Lozier insists the Demon King's standards are sacred, swearing no vow made to them would ever be broken. Lozier sweats and focuses, muttering, "In that case," as he tightens his grip on the hammer. Lozier calls out with a sharp edge to his voice, challenging, "Let's head to the underground passage, Demon King. What's with that face?" Someone's workshop stands empty, its machines silent and the status flashing. Someone is absent. Princess Louise gasps, eyes wide as she shouts, "Someone!" Princess Louise stands firm, demanding, "Where did he go while making my weapon?" Someone Werft, the Dwarven Kingdom's royal, takes the stage. A guard informs Werft, "You see, Your Highness, we believe they've been kidnapped." Princess Louise shouts, "Shut your mouth. He's a Princess Louise, too." Guard admits he may be a Lozier, but he's also a blacksmith. That's why he's not so good at fighting. Princess Louise stands tied up as two armored someone order, "Shut it and go find that damn kidnapper. Bring him to me now." Princess Louise snarls a fierce threat. "If you don't find him, I'm going to pull all of your heads out." Lozier leads the way, lantern in hand, as Berje follows closely up the rocky slope through the secret passage. Lozier crouches cautiously, eyes fixed ahead as the other bows low beside him. Berje snaps at Lozier to move faster as they squeeze through the narrow passage. Berje stands watch on the ledge while Lozier catches his breath, crouched low near the bridge. Lozier crouches low, declaring, "This is where my role ends," and leaves the underground passage behind. Berje raises dark energy, while Lozier shouts in fear, accusing him of breaking a vow made on the Demon King's standards. Berje snarls with a smile, mocking the Demon King's standards with furious words. Lozier crouches on the ground, clutching his chest as a dark clawed hand looms over him. Lozier bows deeply, pleading his worth to Berje while the Demon King listens with a smile. Lozier shouts desperately, leaning forward to prove his loyalty and offer himself as a spy. Berje stands tall with a smile as the kneeling man swears allegiance, begging for mercy. Lozier shouts angrily, refusing to obey and threatening revenge the moment he escapes. Lozier shouts a fierce warning, vowing revenge and challenging the Demon King. Lozier freezes, eyes wide with sudden shock. Lozier is shocked looking at fourth floor of tower. Berje orders silence as Lozier holds his head, caught in the tense moment. Lozier confronts the man in red, who snaps, "Wait, you brought a dwarf in," before cutting him off. Princess Ernan taunts Lozier with a sharp question, while a third figure watches silently nearby. Lozier pleads for mercy while Berje coldly denies any promise. Lozier admits he knocked someone out and carried them here, claiming it was the safest choice since he didn't know what they might do. Lozier bursts into laughter, goggles pushed up as his worried expression breaks. Lozier's face freezes in shock, eyes wide as fear takes hold. Berje laughs loudly, his smile cutting through the quiet as butterflies flutter around. Berje smiles with an edge, taunting, "Are you that happy to be my subordinate?" Lozier laughs loudly, declaring, "Yes, of course. I'm." Berje orders Lozier with a smile, while Lozier kneels uncertainly, asking, "What is it?" Berje orders to install a large number of cannons on the first floor to destroy the heroes. The Ergist Someone's Journey preparation station stands ready, its windows lit against the night. Granada holds a holographic image and warns, "The new Demon King can use black flames, so heroes are using fire-resistant gear." Granada holds a holographic image and says, "There are rumors circling that the reason why the new Demon King isn't sending out demonic beasts is because he's scared." Berje explains that heroes will gain neither honor nor wealth from their journey, causing their interest and growth to fade. Granada holds the orb steady, focusing as he declares, "It's a battle against time." Granada reveals the Demon King's strategy, weakening the heroes by withholding demonic monsters. Granada stands firm at the entrance, challenging the crowd with, "Has there ever been a Demon King like him?" Someone admits, "I'm glad they's not my enemy." Berje raises a finger and lays down the rule, "No mana stones allowed, no matter how the first floor is remodeled." Lozier worries that a trap without a mana stone won't work on the heroes, but the other man insists it's Lozier's job to figure it out. Princess Louise shouts orders as silhouetted soldiers brace against the red sky, surrounded by broken machinery and looming threats. Berje channels purple energy, declaring he brought the best blacksmith and won't hesitate to bring another if needed. Lozier excitedly reveals he invented a magical tool that can hide mana traces, boasting it took 3 years to create. Berje mocks Lozier's excuse with a smirk, pressing him hard as Lozier stammers, "And no, I'm being serious." Lozier sweats nervously, glancing sideways as he asks, "What did you put around my neck?" Berje raises a finger, explaining the magical tool that can separate Lozier's head from his body with one hand. Berje holds up a magical mask and warns, "If you take it off, I'll consider that as you escaping," while Lozier nervously insists, I'll never take it off." Someone travels between kingdoms, gathering supplies and mana materials along the marked routes. Berje opens a red portal and stores the gathered materials inside his subspace pocket. Lozier bows deeply while Berje watches silently by the rocky ledge inside the cave. The soldier dodges as the wooden door splinters and breaks apart. Princess Louise shouts angrily, clenching her fists as she demands answers. The soldier and others gather around the map, planning their search through the tunnels while acknowledging the enemy's likely escape. Princess Louise shouts angrily, demanding the truth about the kidnapping. Princess Louise grabs the older man's shoulder and threatens, "I'll give you exactly 2 more weeks. If you don't find the kidnapper by then, you're gonna die." "Okay." Princess Louise orders, "Now go. Fill all the tunnels the blacksmiths created," as the soldier points decisively at the floor map. Princess Louise stands firm on the platform, catching her breath amid scattered rocks. Princess Louise glares down at the sword on the ground, bitterly muttering, "This should have been my weapon." Princess Louise grips the gauntlet tightly. Someone, please be alive. You can't die until you've completed my weapon." Lozier raises his hand behind the bars, while the girl with the crown turns her head sharply. Princess Louise shouts fiercely, her flaming fist clenched as she faces the armored soldiers. Lozier holds his weapon cautiously as the face recognition interfering mask activates. Princess Louise shouts, "That's one of his secret tunnels," as she points urgently. The soldier stands tense beside the trapped man, who peers out from the broken box. Lozier raises a nervous fist, sweat dripping as he stammers, "Princess, you." Armored hands clasp tightly as a mocking laugh cuts through the tension. "Ha, what?" A furious voice spits out, "You bastard. You came back, all right." Princess Louise clenches her golden gauntlet and mocks, "So you went into hiding because you didn't want to make my weapon? Is that it, someone?" Berje kneels in pain as the figure in the red cloak holds a weapon, declaring, "From now on, you're my slave." Princess Louise raises her flaming fist, "Someone, but before that, I'm going to punish you for running away." Lozier pleads desperately, raising his hand to beg. Spare me. Princess Louise crashes hard against the wall, sending debris flying everywhere. Princess Louise lunges forward. Someone, who are you? With her flaming fist raised. A heavy boot steps firmly onto the tiled floor. Berje orders someone to grab the equipment, sending him sprinting through the workshop. Princess Louise shouts, demanding to know why someone is helping that despicable dwarf. Berje calmly declares, I'm the master of the pitiful blacksmith you were extorting. Princess Louise flies upward. Someone? Nonsense. He's my slave. Princess Louise swings her polearm fiercely while someone, who are you, T.O.? Take him from me, as Berje calmly blocks the attack. Berje glares with calm intensity, unshaken and focused. Berje unleashes a surge of purple energy, striking with precise force. Princess Louise clenches her flaming fist and grabs the arm of the person in the black sleeve. Berje glances sideways, calm and unshaken. Princess Louise strikes with her fist, sending Berje crashing backward. Berje reaches out desperately as Princess Louise locks eyes with him, determination burning bright. Berje throws a fierce punch as Princess Louise blocks it with her fist. Princess Louise grits her teeth, determination burning in her eyes beneath the crown. Princess Louise stands victorious atop a pile of defeated creatures, gripping her large axe with unwavering resolve. Berje clutches his arm, weighing the cost of using all his strength and demonic energy against Princess Louise. Berje admits, I might get captured by her soldiers, knowing his power has exposed him as the Demon King. Lozier grits his teeth and raises an arm to block the flying debris. Berje crouches, panting hard, while Lozier stares in shock, caught off guard. Berje kneels by the massive machine, while Lozier stands tense, eyes locked on the panels. Berje raises his arm, threatening with dark energy as he demands, Do you want to die? Finish it within a minute. Berje shouts, Who said you can do that? As he charges forward, warning, If push comes to shove, I'm going to leave you behind. Lozier snaps under pressure, promising, Oh, okay. I'll wrap this up quickly. Berje raises his hands, channeling red energy as he struggles without his full strength or demonic power. Princess Louise descends with a fist, launching a fierce upward strike against Berje's red energy. Princess Louise throws a fierce punch, warning someone he won't leave alive. Berje shouts a fierce warning, claiming the blacksmith and equipment as his own. Gears spin and pipes hum, signaling the machine's power awakening. Dismantles the mechanical figure with surging energy and shouts, I've dismantled it. Princess Louise swings her axe fiercely, shouting, Someone, you motherfucker! You came back to take that. Berje narrows his eye with fierce focus, shouting, An opening. Berje strikes with a powerful kick, aiming straight at Princess Louise. A massive mechanical object crashes into the ground, sending debris flying in all directions. Berje shouts a warning as he unleashes a surge of red energy from his outstretched hand. Princess Louise shouts defiance. That attack is useless against me. As the strike lands, Princess Louise raises her arm, eyes wide, as massive mechanical arms loom overhead. Princess Louise runs forward, shouting angrily, Princess, what's going on? Princess Louise charges forward, launching a fiery explosion at the tunnel floor. Princess Louise questions in disbelief, did he block the tunnel, as she processes the unexpected move. Princess Louise smiles slyly, taunting, how interesting, how very interesting, someone. Princess Louise laughs fiercely, vowing to scour the entire continent and make them regret today. Princess Louise's eye narrows in fierce determination as she shouts, LOGR. A massive wooden object lies chained on the ground, blocking the path. Princess Ernan and the others stand tense before the massive mechanical sphere, its chains and gears locked tight. Berje explains the giant magical tool's purpose, while Princess Ernan reacts with surprise. Berje orders activation as Lozier finishes installing the Mana's Phantom on the machine. Berje orders activation with a serious warning, while Lozier nervously confirms and triggers the device. A swirling vortex spins wildly, gears locking into place around its core. A blinding energy sphere erupts between them, forcing Princess Ernan to shield her eyes with a pained UGH. It's so bright. Berje raises his hand, studying the holographic screens as he realizes, synchronized with the tower. The tower had a function like that. Berje clenches his fist, ready to confirm the truth himself. Mana's Phantom fully converts its power source from mana to demonic energy, recognizing Demon King, Someone Diaz, as its master. Berje holds his weapon steady as Lozier denies any involvement, shocked by the tower's impossible power shift from mana to demonic energy. Berje urges Princess Ernan to try any spell, pushing her toward the locked door. Princess Ernan raises her hands as a swirling vortex forms above her, declaring, "Okay, whatever I want it is." Berje holds his sword ready as Princess Ernan rushes toward the dangerous vortex, shouting, "Stop feet!" Berje steps firmly onto the snow, his resolve unshaken beneath the cold night sky. Berje stands firm, his gaze sharp as he utters, "And yet." Berge's eyes widen as he realizes he can't see or sense any presence inside. Berje reaches down, manipulating the energy flowing between the two towers. Berje raises his hand, channeling purple energy as he declares the tower. Purple energy pulses as the figure stands firm in the snow, shouting, "Vanished!" Berje channels raw purple energy through his gloved hand, readying for the next move. Berje stands firm before the fortress, energy pulsating as the mountain wind bites. Berje raises his hand, channeling demonic energy as he contemplates hiding the tower, despite the cost. Berje smiles as he admits, using it right now is difficult, but it'll be useful going forward. Berje shouts angrily, demanding to examine both the device and the tower. Lozier gestures excitedly at the mechanical parts while Berje watches intently, captivated by the historic discovery. Berje raises his weapon, challenging Lozier with a cold promise. "If your trap wipes out the heroes, you can do whatever you want." Berje shouts a challenge and makes a bold proposal to Princess Ernan, catching her completely off guard. Berje points to himself, demanding, "You want me to fight the heroes?" While Princess Ernan protests, "But I'm a princess." Berje doubts, forcing the innocent princess into a harsh role, questioning if betraying her own kind is fair. Berje hesitates, weighing fire, water, and wind elements before dismissing them all. Berje lays out the plan. "Just reveal to them that you're an enemy and fluster the heroes." Princess Ernan agrees to the plan, but demands to be introduced as the Demon King's subordinate, not as a princess. Berje agrees with a firm, "Fine, I agree," sealing the deal with no hesitation. Princess Ernan confidently challenges Berje, joking about using her looks to fight, while he stays calm and focused. Berje sits firmly on the throne, gripping his weapon as the figure stands silently before him. Berje holds a holographic display, outlining a ruthless plan to cut down the heroes with mass mana cannons and bait the princess on the upper floor. The knight rides forward, flanked by armored figures, acknowledging the plan won't even cut down half the heroes. Berje holds the crystal, questioning if he must just become stronger himself. They leave the tower behind, heading out into the snowy mountains. Berje scans the snowy ground while Princess Ernan admits, "There's none here either." Berje and Princess Ernan watch as useless spirits float around, their third attempt yielding nothing but silence. Berje stands firm as a massive hand lowers between him and the girl with white hair. Pearl Orcs kneels quietly, eyes steady beneath the fur cloak. Berje extends his hand, unleashing dark energy while Princess Ernan watches, startled. Two figures stand toe-to-toe on the snowy ground, tension crackling between their steps. Pearl Orcs kneel and offer their tribe's loyalty to Berje, greeting him as the Demon King. Pearl orcs step forward, pleading, "Please accept us as your kin," as Berje stands firm, radiating red energy. Berje questions the plea with a sharp, "You want me to take you in as my kin?" Pearl orcs kneel in the snow, begging, "Please grant us the honor of serving you, Demon King." Berje grips the chest, cutting through the lies with sharp words. "Enough. Save the sweet talk." Pearl orcs holds the box firmly, daring with a sharp, "Bring it." The chest opens to reveal 3 flowers inside. Berje and Princess Ernan stare at the open chest, piecing together the mystery behind the missing flowers. Monsters approach the 2 figures as a tense conversation about strength and survival unfolds. Pearl orcs kneel calmly, their expression unreadable as tension thickens. Smirks tighten lips, mocking with a sharp, "Wisdom over strength, HUH." Berje raises a magical circle with a confident smile, declaring, "I like you." "Very well." Pearl orcs shouts fiercely, flames rising as he declares, "But I'll only take you in, crew 2. A dragon tattoo burns bright as Pearl orders, "Roam the snowfields and grow your tribe for my sake." A horned creature commands, "Wait for my orders. I will reward you with something greater than strength." Pearl orcs stand firm, their bodies marked by red symbols as they declare, "Your tribe shall be eternal." A Pearl orc kneels, pledging loyalty to Berje with a firm, "Thank you," while Princess Ernan watches in surprise. Monsters shout, "We will devote our loyalty," as Princess Ernan watches, stunned. Someone's tower stands fortified in the Urgist Mountains, ready to unleash full force. Pearl orcs stand ready outside the tower, swords drawn and cloaked against the cold. Lozier stands tense between 60 mana cannons, ready for whatever comes to the tower's first floor. Princess Ernan stands firm on the tower's 4th floor, arms crossed as elemental spirits hover silently around her. Berje sits firmly, eyes locked on the floating holograms as he declares, "Now, all the pieces are in place." Berje challenges his opponents with a fierce vow, "Come, heroes. I'll repay you for the humiliation of my previous life." Snow falls silently as pine branches bend under its weight in the quiet forest. Hero and the elf announce their arrival, breaking the silence of the snowy forest. A group of travelers spot the Urgist Mountains rising beyond the snowy trees.